Hey, what's up soldiers? My name is GregFPS, the Zombies Extraordinaire, and welcome back to another Call of Duty Zombies video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Pentagon Thief. He is the boss from the map 5, which is a Black Ops 1 map that came on disc along with Kino der Toten. Now, this was really the first map that introduced a boss zombie that did something to you and actually ended up making it a little bit more difficult. Rather than having just regular zombies or even Nova crawlers, this was something that affected you specifically, and what the Pentagon Thief did was he literally stole your gun. So if he was coming towards you and you had a gun out, whatever gun you have out, if he was able to make it to you, then he was going to steal that gun. Now, if you killed him after he steals your gun, you get your gun back, he drops a fire sale and a max ammo. But if you kill the Pentagon Thief before he reaches you, then he's gonna drop a bonfire sale, which is going to allow you to pack a punch for 1,000 points. I would love to see this in a Gobblegum in Black Ops 3, but we never actually got that, and you also get a max ammo. So it's definitely kind of a high risk, high reward type situation. You want to make sure that you have a good gun to kill the Pentagon Thief with. Pretty much any gun that's pack-a-punched. I like LMGs. I mean, I even get the Mustang and Sally's, even though I pretty much go down every time that I use them. It usually takes them out really quickly. And the good thing about 5 is it's kind of just a simple map, so you can buy your perks very easily once again, and it's not really that big of a deal if you go down, because I go down all the time when I play on 5 just because of how the map is. It's really close quarters, and it's kind of hard to be super successful unless you have like a team strategy where you're like camping on the elevator and you just keep going up and down. That's what I usually do when I play on 5, but it's always different when I just play with randoms. So I wanted to jump into the storyline a little bit and kind of take a look at who this character actually is, because it is definitely very interesting to take a look at it. So we're gonna jump all the way to October 19th, 1955. Gersh and Yuri Zavoyski begin working for the Ascension Group. On June 3rd, 1959, the Pentagon constructs their own prototype teleporter and commence experimentation. Now, if you guys didn't know at this point, the Russians and the Americans have gained technology from Doris. They were kind of in a standoff, and this is the height of the Cold War. So they had both taken technology from Doris and got teleportation technology. So the Pentagon was working on their teleporters, whereas the Ascension was also working on theirs, or the Ascension Group. So it's definitely kind of interesting to think about from that aspect. So on March 15th, 1962, studying Group 935's medicinal elixir research, the Ascension Group developed PhD Flopper and Stamina. On November 11th, 1962, Gersh begins working on Project Thunder, which is the Thunder Gun. On December 12, 1962, Gersh and Yuri begin working on the Gersh device, codenamed Project Mercury. On June 15, 1963, the Pentagon begins development of their own version of the Wunderwaffe DG-2. On August 17, 1963, the Pentagon begins development on their own version of the Winter's Howl, which, as you guys know, is not really that great. So at this time, this is when Kino der Toten happens. On October 29, 1963, Gersh informs the senior staff that Yuri has been removed from Project Mercury and has been transferred to Rocket Research. So in Rocket Research, Yuri felt like he wasn't being used to his full potential. All he was doing was sending monkeys to space, and that's why we have space monkeys come and steal your perks on Ascension, which is kind of cool. On October 29th, 1963, Yuri begins to notice the appearance of children's toys around the facility. Now, at this time, on November 1st, 1963, upon reading Richthofen's diary, Yuri begins to hear Samantha's voice. Over several days, her voice will consume him, driving him to resume work on the Gersh device. He obeys. So basically, he reads Richthofen's diary. He starts hearing Samantha, because at this time, Richthofen's diary is filled with a bunch of stuff when he's in the MPD and all this stuff about, you know, what Samantha is, and like all the research. He started hearing voices. He got teleported to Shangri-La. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on within Richthofen's head that just drives him insane, and Samantha also consumes him at the same time, which is crazy. So on November 4th, 1963, Gersh announces to the committee that Project Thunder is nearing completion. Gersh reveals Yuri may be removed from Ascension entirely, having observed him being hostile towards other scientists and frequently observed muttering to himself. Obeying Samantha's wishes, on November 5th, 1963, Yuri tricks Gersh into activating the Gersh device. The rift created absorbs him and allows Samantha to travel through. Yuri is also absorbed and transported to the Pentagon. So then that is when, you know, Ascension happens, but on the same exact day of when Ascension is happening, in the Pentagon, JFK, Richard Nixon, Robert McNamara meet with Fidel Castro in the aftermath of the Cuban Missile Crisis. Due to the events at the Cosmodrome, a zombie outbreak occurs. Samantha sends Yuri to the Pentagon to thwart their survival. After Gersh is freed and Ultimus departs from the Cosmodrome, the outbreak ends at the Pentagon. All four survive. So that is what we're getting into, guys. We're literally getting into the fact that Yuri was sent to 5 from Ascension by Samantha to thwart the 4 main playable characters on 5: JFK, Richard Nixon, Robert McNamara, and Fidel Castro. So we learn that Yuri is in fact the Pentagon thief, which is really cool how Treyarch kind of twisted this. There were a bunch of theories back in the day that Yuri was actually the Pentagon thief, and it's really cool to think about, because why does Treyarch just reveal this stuff now? I mean, we got the timeline and it reveals so much cool stuff and I love it, but I feel like this was something that, you know, maybe we could have heard in a radio at some point, maybe. But other than that, guys, I obviously it wasn't in a radio, we just learned about this, but it would have been really nice to know that, you know, Yuri this whole time was the Pentagon thief, and we could have actually seen what he looks like, that little guy with the baldness starting to happen and his gray hair looking like a crazy, you know, mad scientist. It's pretty cool. It's really, really cool. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to drop it a like, subscribe if you guys are brand new, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.